Hey folks, hope you're all doing well and welcome to the 4,000 subscriber 4,000 subscriber celebration show. Hope everybody's good. Nice to see you. We got a few folks in here. Quentin James is in the house. Mitch Heyman, how you doing? Papa Blue. Thanks, Pete Brown. Appreciate it, man. Okay, no audio? Really? Okay, I don't know why not. Anybody else got no audio? Let me know if you got no audio. Guitar, no vocal. Ah. Hang on. Okay, Mitch says he hears it all. Do you hear my voice? Audio is fine, says Pete Brown. I don't know, Jim. All right. Just Quentin can't hear my voice. Oops. Just learn that riff. Guitar's just on the right side. Yes, I know that. I can't do anything about it, Mitch. I can't. I tried OBS and it went to shit. So I'm back to using StreamYard. So my voice will be out of one speaker, and the guitar will be out of the other. I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. So hope everybody's doing well. Thanks everybody for joining me. I've been meaning to do this for a while. You know, I hit 4,000. I'm trying to remember when it was. I think it was like earlier in the month, anyways. So I mean, you know, channel's been around for probably, oh man, 10 years at least. And you know, it's a slow builder. But that's okay. You know, I like the idea that, you know, as time goes on and anyone that does subscribe is subscribing for the right reasons. You know, not because I jumped on some viral video, you know, to get subscribers or, you know, who don't really give a crap or do like a sub for sub thing. I've never done that. You know, it's like I put out my stuff. If you dig it, you dig it. If you don't dig it, don't subscribe. But over time, I know that folks that have subscribed and been subscribed for a long time, I know they're here for because they actually enjoy the content, and that's what this channel is all about. It's only been about, and really what it's always been about has been about music. Hey Janice, how are you? You know, I mean, it's morphed over the years. It started off as sort of, I started the channel, like I said, about 10 years ago, because 10 years ago is when I started playing guitar again. Back in the 90s, I played a lot, and I played in, let me just adjust this camera a little bit. I played a lot. Like, when I say a lot, I was probably doing somewhere, you know, between 200 and 300 shows a year. So I was gigging all over the place, every weekend, 2 3 nights every weekend. I was playing a lot, and then I left that project and I went to another project and sort of quit that. And then I wanted to just play in a rock band. The first band that I played a lot in was more of like a what the Brits call a function band. It was sort of like a wedding dance type of band. And I'll quit that, and then I just want to play rock, and went from making good money to making no money, but at least I was playing music I enjoyed. And then eventually I just hung it up, and I hung it up for a long time, about 12 years. So when I started playing again, that's when I figured, let me document sort of me learning how to play again. And after 12 years, man, if you don't touch a guitar in 12 years, like when I started back up, I couldn't even play a C chord. Like I literally had to reteach myself how to play. But in a way, it was kind of good because I made sure that all the stuff that I was bad at, I kind of worked on, right? Like all the bad habits I got, I tried to try to kind of fix them a little bit, as much as I could anyway. Try to learn the right way. So, but that's sort of the impetus for the channel. And then of course it's morphed so much in the last 10 years. I mean, from doing weekly shows, doing stuff just on gear, just because all I used to do was gear review, and the gear review I was doing was all stuff I was buying to sort of, because even when I went back to start playing again, and I did my first gig, it's like I've been out of it for so long, I didn't know, like I didn't like like what do you use now, and somebody says, oh, here's the latest Boss multi effects, right? Because I think when I used to have one, it was like the ME8. Now it was like the 70 or 80 or something. I mean, it's gone through so many iterations. It's like, here, you need this, right? And yeah, like total noob, man. Like, that was crazy getting back into it, not touching it for 12 years. And then, man, it was, but, that and buying tone and getting back into it, or buying tone, buying gear and getting back into it, I kind of learned a lot. Actually, I mean, I think I know a lot more about guitars and gear now than I did back then, because back then I really didn't know squat. All I had was a Strat, and a Fender amp, and that's all I really needed back then. All right, let's say hello to a few more people that popped in. We got Pete Brown. Welcome, set up by Marshall. Nice to see you. You should come jam tonight. It's my night off. I'm not gigging today. Set up by Marshall. I'm not gigging now until I think April the 6th, I think is the date. You as hi hack, I hate referring to you as that as it seems to so derogatory. Hope you're doing okay anyway. You know what, Alan? The term guitar hack. Here's sort of, hey Russ, how are you, man? Nice to see you. When I started the channel, I wanted to call it hack because I don't consider, I mean, yeah, I play in a bar band, I've done gigs and I've done recording and I've got original music and all that kind of stuff, but I still consider myself a hack, like it's not a full-time profession, it's a hobby, it's something I work at, but mainly it's something I really enjoy, and it's a hobby. So because of that, I sort of, I don't see a hack as sort of derogatory thing. It's just something you kind of like, I could have called it guitar interest or something, but and I didn't want anybody, I didn't want anybody to think I was coming off as some kind of professional guru guy. I just, I'm like everybody else, man. Just love the instrument, love playing, and just kind of want to share, my experience. Again, like when I started the channel, it was all about sharing the experience of getting back into music. And turn off and on the stereo option. You're only in the left speaker unless you're just using your audio interfaces. And that's exactly what I'm doing, set up by Marshall. I'm using my audio interface as an input, yes. Dan in New Jersey, welcome. Marlon Hill, how are you? Yeah, I can't do anything about that, set up by Marshall. I did a similar thing. I stopped playing from 98 to '04. Then I started playing again until 2015 due to medical reasons. Now it's touch and go. Hobby for myself as well. Yeah. So, yeah, so it kind of started off as, like as I bought a piece of gear, I'd demo it and I'd tell you what I thought about it. And then, I mean, I've gone through so many, guitars and so many pedals and amplifiers, and it's kind of nice that I did videos and all this stuff because it's like, oh, what did I own last year? I even started a series, Guitar Arsenal for 2024, just to kind of keep track what I have now compared to what I had like even a year ago. And it keeps evolving, it keeps changing, right? So hey, Jerry Hutchison, how are you? Nice to see you. And StreamYard, and we will hear you on both channels. All right, I will try that, Marshall. I tried it earlier and it didn't work, but just for you, I will try it again. Okay, let's see. All right, it is unchecked. Do you hear me in both channels? So, but yeah, that's sort of the whole thing was, as I bought new gear, I would demo it and try it out, and then, yeah, hey, Mitch says, yay. Thanks, Marshall. Just learned something. Mitch Heyman says, yes. Thank you. Thank you, set up by Marshall. Appreciate it. Whoop. There's a Z chord for you. But, anyways, yeah, and then, then I started doing weekly shows, and then I did the Live Wires, and I did all kinds of stuff, and Live Wires is a show I used to do with a couple of buddies. Then I did a shit ton of interviews. The channel kept sort of evolving, and then I sort of cut it down a little bit because, it was becoming too much, and now I just do videos when I want, Thanks so much, Jeff K. Appreciate it, and thanks for being here. Just came over from Review Crew episode on SOT. Hey, Tyler, how are you? Yeah, I was supposed to be on that episode. I don't know, something happened. That's all right. It's a StreamYard problem. Yeah. Thanks so much, Tyler. Dark Wizard, how are you, man? Thank you so much. I appreciate it, set up by Marshall. Appreciate it. Yeah, so now I just, when I get a new piece of gear, I'll do a video. I did, the latest thing I bought was a Fender Telecaster, like a 70s Deluxe. I did a video that I was always, curiosity myself, how does a 70s, or how does a Fender with two humbuckers compared to, or a Telecaster two humbuckers compared to a Les Paul two humbuckers, and I A-B'd them. So check out that video if that was something, and then I put a little game in the end, which only a few people understood. Maybe I didn't make myself clear, but at the end I did of that video, I did a play along, and I was asking people to guess, which guitar was which was the Tele and which was the thing, because you didn't see me playing it. I had some other photos up, and it was in a mix. So check that out, that video. Oh yes, Jerry. Well, Jerry, the Les Pauls never go away. It's funny with the. Thank you, Hugh Caldwell. Appreciate it. It's funny with the Les Pauls. Like, when actually getting back to that video I just talking about, honestly, the Fender sounds better in a lot of situations. There's certain times when, as much as I love Les Pauls and they're sort of part of my DNA, so much so that I have one on my arm, there's still like, sometimes there's applications where there's actually a lot of applications where this isn't quite the right tool for the job, where you want to have something different, Like, I did a gig about 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? I took my Firebird out, and that guitar absolutely blew me away. It just sounded so damn good. By the way, since we're talking about Firebirds, I don't know if anybody follows Gibson and Epiphone and their last the last thing they pulled. Okay, I know everybody here is not a guitar player, so I'll try to balance between guitars and just talking music things in general. But Gibson for 2024 is no longer making, Gibson USA is no longer making the Firebird model of a guitar, right? They stopped doing it for whatever. Well, I know the reason now. It took a while, but now the truth came out. Anyways, they stopped making them. And so if you want to buy a Gibson Firebird in 2024, now you would have to go out and buy a custom shop. And, so now you're spending thousands of dollars, right, to get that guitar. Whereas a year ago, I think I don't know. I don't know exactly when they stopped it. Some point 2023, maybe 2022. You know, you could have bought USA Firebird in Canada. They're already going for 2 grand at that point, so they're already elevating the prices. But anyways, but they're gone. So what they did was, so Gibson stopped making the Firebirds, and next thing you know, they start releasing these Epiphone authentic Gibson copy Firebirds, and they're selling these things in Canada. I think they're going for something like almost $1,800 or $2,000. Okay, so why they did that? They took the Gibson USA off the market, so that people that don't want to buy custom shop are now forced to buy the Epiphone version of the new Firebirds. So that's a little sneaky, if you ask me. And the other thing I found out now is I'm seeing used Gibson USA Firebirds on used markets selling for double the price. So people are cashing in on that, you know. So yeah, a little bit of sneaky stuff going on there with Gibson, man. Thank you so much, Alan. Paul Lou, how are you? Nice to see you. Welcome, Dan. Yeah, Canada always gets the raw deal. That's true. Yeah, whenever I'm talking with my USA folks, and they'll tell me, "Oh, you know what? This thing is like $200," and then I'm like, "Yeah, really? It's 300 here." Everything is like tack on another like a third more. You know, always more money here because our dollar is. I mean, our dollar is pretty near useless. I think it's worth. It usually bounces around like 73, 74 cents to a US dollar. So, you know, and then tack on 13% tax on top of that. But don't get me started. Yeah, yeah, those, if you want a USA or a USA Firebird set up by Marshall, you got to be a doctor or a lawyer. It's not for the regular folks anymore. Australia needs to tack on a third more also. Oh yeah, Australia's pretty bad too. I actually think Australia may even be a little worse than Canada. A little worse than Canada. Yeah, Paul Lou, the Epiphone prices are basically what the the Gibson, what are they called? The Epiphone authentic, I don't know, whatever they call them. Basically the inspired by Gibson Epiphones now are basically what Gibsons used to cost about 3 or 4 years ago. That's what they've done. All right, you know, Tyler, my I don't have it with me, but I finally got my copy of the new Judas Priest, and while I did a review, and I think most of you, I actually got a lot of views on that. I think I hit like 1,200 on that, which is great for my little channel. But I did a review of that latest Judas Priest record, and if you are a fan of Judas Priest at all, like I mean, even mild fan, right? Like not a heavy duty fan, or if you just like, you just like that sort of '80s classic metal, right? I can't, I cannot exaggerate, or not exaggerate. That's the wrong word. I cannot. Oh man, I'm at a loss for words. Suggest enough that you should buy that record. That Invincible Shield is absolutely phenomenal. It is. I mean, I've been a Priest fan since I was, I don't know, 15 or 14. For me, this is the best record they've ever done since Screaming for Vengeance. It is absolutely incredible, For a band that's been around for 50 years and still be able to put out stuff of that quality is just, it just blows my mind. And the fact that Rob can still sing, because there's a couple of songs on there that are like he's doing the Painkiller type of vocal, right? Like Serpent and the King and Panic Attack, and and he's still absolutely nailing it. Like it's amazing. If Canada had more debt, the dollar might be a lot higher, but that's a different topic. Martin loves the new Priest album. Yeah, I do as well. I do as well. Thank you, Pete. Have you ever played the solo in Queen's Brighton Rock? That would be so cool. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. You know what I've had to learn how to play? Um so my I mean most of you know I play in a bar band, and actually we got some good news this week. Our basically our plate is full as far as how many shows we want to do this year, so we're like maxed out. We're not taking on any more. We've even got New Year's Eve already booked for this year. So the band's doing quite well, which is awesome. I mean, I've put a lot of eight, at least 8 years into this thing. So, anyways, but so we go around picking songs to play, and I'm a huge Cars fan. We used to do Just What I Needed, and I learned how to play that solo. And why I mention the solo specifically is the guitar player. Oh my God, I just blanked on his name. Oh my God, Elliot Easton. Is an absolutely phenomenal guitar player. He's one of my favorites. That guy's guitar solos in the Cars are absolute perfection. I mean, he composes them, he sculpts them. He's just, they're just perfect, right? They just fit like an absolute glove. So I learned how to play that, and I actually learned how to play that solo note for note, and set up by Marshall's in here, and that is a handful. And yeah, it is. There's actually a video on my channel of us playing in a bar, and I played that solo, and I actually nailed it. One of the few times I nailed it, because it's a real tricky, because there's a pedal steel bend in there that's just like weird. Like it's just an odd, not a natural thing, right? Not the use, not a bend you would a typical bluesy bend you would do. Anyways, but I love this song, but it didn't really go over well. So my turn came around to pick a song to do. So I'm like, okay, I want to do another Cars song. So we're gonna try "Let's Go." All right. I like the nightlife, baby. Let's go. That song? I can't sing. Anyways, but the problem with that song is there's a keyboard. So I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. We'll do it. So I'm playing the keyboard parts, the guitar parts, and there's not really a solo in it. There's just Elliot Easton just goes and he plays these sixths up here. He goes, it's not really a solo, it's just a part. But anyways, I'll probably even put out a video of me playing along with that. It'll probably get copyright claimed and kiboshed and all that. But yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try all the guitar parts on the. Let's see if you guys recognize this. Then it's these weird arpeggios up here. Anyways, I'm still learning it, but it's coming. One time. No, for yeah. Well, when you're playing an Elliot Easton solo, man, you really got to play it note for note. Like, there's some bands that you cover that there's a little bit of and we talked about this before. There's some bands and some solos that there's a little bit of wiggle room, as long as you play sort of the main hooky parts, but the parts in between can be your own. But when you're doing an Elliot Easton solo, man, if you're playing one of those songs, you've got to play that solo exactly the way he's doing it, because people know the solo. Here's the reason, right? People know the solo as well as they know the whole song. So if the solo's wrong, they're gonna pick up on that. I mean, it'd be no different than a guy singing the wrong lyric. Like it's just embedded in your brain, right? Yeah, Tim Pierce breaks. Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a lot of videos of Elliot Easton doing breaking down his own stuff. There's a show, I think it's called The Green Room. It's Jimmy Vivino. He's got a YouTube channel and a YouTube show, and he had Elliot Easton on there, and I mean, the guy is such a humble dude, man, and he's just sitting there. Oh yeah, this is how he did that, and they're talking about how he came up with his leads and stuff. It's really really cool. All right, good night, Jerry. Thanks for being here, man. Hey, Laz. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. I totally agree, Tyler. Yeah. The Cars debut record. Totally. Yeah, I would love to do a Cars show at some point. I would love to do a Cars show. Maybe top 10 Cars songs. Something like that. That'd be a good show to do. Yeah, that's true, Dan. And that's the beauty of Elliot. I mean, he incorporates a lot of different things. There's some country, some rockabilly, like you mentioned. There's some real jazzy stuff going on too, man. I mean that Let's Go, that arpeggiated thing. That's just something. Just I don't know, just something out there. And the funny thing is, if you learn how to play that, the timing of it, it's a total feel thing because there's no real pocket when you're playing that. I don't know about a ranking the album, Tyler. Maybe a top 10 card. I don't know. We'll figure something out. The top, yeah, you know what? Hey, welcome, Bayou. You got a point. The top 10 car songs could very well be the first album. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good song, Gary. Welcome, Gary. Yeah. So we got 24 folks in here. Thanks everybody for coming in. I want to thank, and again, this whole show is just sort of a little celebratory thing for another little milestone of the channel. We finally hit 4,000 subscribers. Onward to 5,000. Whenever that happens, but you know, yeah, it's been a slow builder, like I say, but you know, I'd rather have it be a slow builder and have folks in here that actually watch the content and comment on the content than just do like, because there's a lot of ways to build up your channel fast. I mean, there's people you can pay off and stuff, or you find a viral video and just make a comment on that, or and I've never wanted to do that. I want anybody that's subbed here to be here for the right reasons. Well, thank you so much, Mitch. Yeah, and if you're watching and you're not subbed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. That'd be much appreciated. Spring weather here in Vancouver. We've had a very mild winter here. I'm in Toronto, and it's been a really really mild winter here. It's going to drop the next couple of days, but I mean, this week alone, I think we were a couple of days we were like in the low 60s here. That is true, Bayou. Yes, that is very true. Yeah. So coming up, since we're talking about rankings and things, I'll give you guys an exclusive because you're in the chat. Man, what is it? The 28th? I believe it's the 28th is the next ranking show that we're going to do. And we're going to be doing it on Gillen. Okay, so now if you're not familiar, Gillen I mean, is referring to Ian Gillan, who's the former singer of Deep Purple. Now he's been in a number of different, bands outside of, or post Black Sabbath, but we're gonna specifically look at the the band that he called the Gillan Band. So we're gonna be doing a ranking of those records. I think there's I don't remember. Is there 6 or 8 of them? Something like that. And we're gonna rank those. Oh, I think there's only 6 of them. So that'll be the next show. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's and I mean, there's a couple of things that I do that I sort of, in a way, kind of do it selfishly because, for example, the recommend an album to review show that I've done 31 weeks of that now, which is amazing. All thanks to you folks watching and putting in suggestions. That for me is the best way to find out about new music. It's like, hey, check out this record, and I'll have a list of, I don't know, 5, 10, 12, and then I'll just kind of go through. And in fairness, when I'm going through the list of records to review for the following week, I don't want to, like, I have to be able to somewhat get through the record. Like if I, if it wears on me and I'm not enjoying the record at all, I don't want to come back the next week and say, "Oh, this was terrible, this and that," because that wouldn't be a fair assessment, right? I want to have at least the ability to list, because there are certain things and certain styles, and I'm sure everybody has this, that, man, I can't listen to this anymore, right? I have to be able to get through the record and and then be able to listen to it a few times, and then come up with like a decent review of it. But so that's been great, and then doing these shows with Pete and Martin. There are times when there's bands that obviously we did Priest and we did Iron Maiden and we did Sabbath and Zeppelin. I'm well familiar with those bands and their music, but sometimes there's bands that we do that I may only have heard 1 or 2 records of, or maybe not even heard anything from their catalog. And usually we do these shows like I'll know the band we're going to be doing like months in advance. So I literally listen to that catalog for 3-4 months before we actually do the show. And Gillen is an example of that. So it's like I'm listening to this Gillen stuff and I'm like, holy shit, this stuff's amazing, right? Never would have listened to it otherwise, because there's only so much music, and you can't hear everything, and stuff is gonna pass you by, right? All right, I'm getting talking too much here, and I'm just gonna get caught up on the chat. You only had 4 days of snow. That's pretty good. You had a good winter so far, Gary. That's good to hear. The scene in Fast Time is at Ridgemont High, moving in stereo. Yeah. The new Machine Head remix by Dweezil Zap is amazing, people are saying. Cool. Yeah, I mean, as far as brand new music, the best thing I've heard, actually, in years is the new Judas Priest record. The other, I did listen to the Bruce Dickinson Mandrake project, and I mean it's good, but it is nowhere near the for me anyway. That's just speaking for myself, man. That thing cannot touch Invincible Shield. It cannot touch it. Even though they came out roughly at the same time, they're like miles apart. You know, the Ace Frehley record, that's not even in the same solar system as Invincible Shield. But again, these are just my thoughts. Greta Van Fleet. I listened to their last record, Dan, and yeah. See, if somebody's, for example, that would be one album that say, "Hey, recommend an album to review. Hey, listen to do a review on the latest." It would be an unfair because I can't even get through that record. It's just I don't know, man. These guys, they just, I don't know. They for me they totally lost the script totally. It was a tie tonight, 4-4. That's good. I wasn't on that show. Sean Ono album. I haven't listened to any Sean Ono. Not familiar with that stuff at all. Thank you so much, Jason. I really appreciate that, Jason. That's very nice of you. Yeah, the new Black Rose I got to check out. Yeah. The CD is black brick walled and way too loud. Yeah, I did try. I always try, right? And sometimes I'll even try a couple of times because maybe you're not in the right mood for it or whatever. But I don't even know the name of their latest record. Like, I don't even remember what it's called. But I did listen to it. I mean, I liked their first EP. I thought it was great, and the first album too was pretty good. Where was it the first? Oh shit, I forgot. They had a really good song on there. Anyway, the first couple of releases of theirs were good, and then the third one, which again I can't remember the name of, was okay, and then this last one is just I can't get through it. Rival Sons, yes. Starcatcher, that's what it's called. Yeah, there's a video out, and they're all dressed in white. Or is that the one? That's the newest song, I think. Yeah. Actually, the last two Rival Sons are good. The New Crows is good, nothing new or inventive, but it sounds like that's okay. That's okay, Bayou. I mean, if they sound like they've always sounded, that's fine. Hey, Spencer Cron, how are you? Yeah, I'm looking forward to the black. Maybe I should do. I didn't even know the Black Crowes album was out yet. Is it out? Ever heard Dead Metal, Glenn Hughes band? No, you mean Dead Daisies? Dan, you mean Dead Daisies that he's no longer in? Not saying it's bad, it sounds good. Yeah. Doing all right? Yeah, I figured you meant Dead Daisies. Yeah. Hey, Guitar Man 45, how are you? My favorite Ted Nugent song. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It might be something off of Scream Dream. Scream Dream for me was like that's the first Ted Nugent record I ever bought, and had some really silly songs on it. Like, I think that's how you play Wango Tango. I liked Scream Dream. I don't know. There was a lot of them. Can't think of one off the top of my head. Oh, thanks, Mitch. Yeah, Guitar Hack merch store. Links are below. All helps. But more importantly, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Cat Scratch Fever. Let's see if I remember that riff. Never really learned how to play that right. I saw Ted open for Kiss as well. And I can't remember what tour it was. It might have been Crazy Nights. And I think, yeah, that is the only time I saw Ted was when he opened for, yeah, I think it was the only time I saw him was when he opened for Kiss. Scream, Dream, and Heavy and Stupid, and in all the right ways. Yeah. Thank you, Dave B. Appreciate it, man. Smoke on the Water? I'll play it wrong. Never played that in my life. I swear to God. I've never tried it. I don't even want to know how to play that, to be honest with you. It's just so overplayed. What's my favorite Grand Funk record? I've never really been a huge Grand Funk guy. I've never been a huge Grand Funk guy. Although I did see them live, and the reason I saw them live, and this is more recent, is because Bruce Kulick was in the band. So I don't want to answer that question because I don't really have an answer for you, Bayou. See if anybody recognizes this riff. I played it earlier. Let's try it again. Do you have a favorite Rush album? Hemispheres. That's easy. Yeah, we did a Rush show. We've done a couple of Rush shows on the channel with Pete and Martin, which you should check out. We did a show called All About Rush where we just talked about Rush, and not and I'm not because Martin's a friend of mine, but if you're a Rush fan, those 3 books that Martin wrote. I'm trying to think of the names of them. Anthem is one. Oh man, he wrote 3 books, anyways, for on Rush, and they're incredible. And so we did a Rush show. We call it the All Rush show, and then we did a ranking. And Hemispheres is number 1 for me. Like my top 3 would probably be. Well, Moving Pictures would have to be in there, but it would be Hemispheres and maybe even Farewell to Kings. You know, they would be, because that's sort of my favorite period. And then I like the much, much later stuff too. Like, I love Snakes and Arrows. And even the most recent one, Clockwork Angels, is fantastic. I missed. Let me just get caught up here. I miss here. Somebody's asking if I'd heard a band. Oh, thank you, Spencer. You like the tone on the Les Paul? Have I heard the band Raven? I've not listened to anything by a band by Raven. No, not listened to any Raven. But throw that in the put that in the suggestions for recommend an album to review, and I'll check them out. Hemispheres and a Farewell to Kings. Yeah. Hey, Lefty Mike, man, long time no see. How you doing? Lefty Mike is an OG, and so's Pooh Ninja. New format idea. All Pink Floyd all the time. Yeah, the Pink Floyd, eh? Yeah, that's some old stuff right there. That's an inside joke that's been going for years. I was a big Rush fan. We followed them since '76 within a 400-mile radius here in Detroit. Wow. That's amazing. Now you hear my voice. Okay. Quite now, here's what I'm saying. He's just been watching my me flap my lips all this time. Classic metal album, All for One. Dan, do me a favor. Throw that in the recommend an album to review in the comments so that, because I'll forget as soon as this is over. Because I will check it out. Yeah. I've only, I mean, even though I'm in Toronto, I've only ever seen Rush twice, and the Signals tour, I saw them, and they were already using rear projection, like really, like really basic, Flintstone, prehistoric rear projection, but they were already trying it back then. And then I saw them on what turned out to be, their last tour, because at the time nobody knew it was their last tour. And they played Toronto 2 nights. And I was there the first night, and it was the second night that they recorded and put on that Blu-ray. And that was the Clockwork Angels tour. Gwen is a huge Kiss fan. Don't let him fool you. He is totally in a Kiss. Offline he shows me stuff like he's got signed autographs of Paul Stanley. That's his personal favorite. Yeah. Big Rex's new album. I have not heard Big Rex's new album. I actually, oh man, oh God, why am I drawing blanks on names today? The singer for Big Rec, the guitar player singer. Oh man, why am I drawing a blank on his name? He's local. I ran into him at a music store about, oh man, 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, Ian Thornley. That's his name. All I needed to see was the Ian, and the Thornley came. Yeah, I ran into him at a Long McQuaid music store downtown Toronto. Yeah, it was kind of cool. He is a phenomenal player, and the guy can sing amazing. To me, and I think he gets upset when people tell him this, but he sounds a lot like Chris Cornell. "2000 on the farewell tour." Yeah, I don't think, because I saw that tour as well, and I don't remember who opened for them. I don't remember. Oh man, it might have been Skid Row opened one of their shows, and then they had this other band called Degeneration, but I think that was the reunion. I don't remember Ted Nugent opening for them up here. Oh, Max Webster. Max Webster, for all of you Sea of Tranquility people, we did a show on Max Webster where we actually had a gentleman who wrote a book on Max Webster, um, and it was an amazing show. I actually met Kim Mitchell in person at the book launch, thanks to Martin. And but anyways, if you're a Sea of Tranquility person and you're not aware of Max Webster, they are the best version of prog rock with all kinds of melody and hooks and just crazy good instrumentation, crazy good arrangements, complex music, but just like Rush, easily digestible because they do it in such a great way. Yeah, that's why I wanted to do that Max Webster show because there's not enough people that are aware of Max Webster. I mean, they haven't been around for years. They only put out, was it 5 records or 4 records? I think not a lot of output, and they weren't, they were basically mid to late 70s, and they were gone. But that's an incredible band. The last recommended album to review, I promoted another band that is again no longer another Canadian band, other Canadian local Canadian band. Actually, Max Webster was local too, um, called Gatto. And if you like 70s like hard bluesy rock, and you're not bothered by like the misogynistic lyrics they had back then, but like Ted Nugent lyrics or Aerosmith, they're all singing about the same thing, and you know what I'm talking about. But if that doesn't bother you and you just want to hear some down and dirty rock, check out Goddo, Goddo, or go watch the last recommended album to review and check out that band. You will not be disappointed. They are fantastic. Badlands is pretty cool. I did dig Badlands. Yeah, I mean, I dig Jakey Lee. Um, the Bark at the Moon record, the first record he did with Ozzy is, I mean, I don't know. Randy's great, but you know what? Jakey Lee ain't too far behind, I'll tell you that. Driving and Crying, another good Southern rock band. Never heard of Driving and Crying. So many bands, and also it's geographical too. Like certain areas you'll hear about bands that in other areas you wouldn't. Ted and Skid Row. Yeah, so Skid Row did open for them. Yeah, yeah. Greg Godovitz was originally in the band Flood. Yes, Dan. Dan knows his Greg Godovitz history. I met Greg. He was a cool dude, man. He was a really cool dude. We got about another 10 minutes left here. If anybody's got any questions or comments, let me know. Things about the channel. Gatto used to play here at Harpo's a lot, but like early '80s. Yeah, I saw them in a bar, man. This is well past their. This would have been in the early '90s. I saw them in a bar. And they're still great. The original guys. Oh, what am I playing through currently? So uh, this is going into my pedal board. Um, I'm using what pedal is that? It's a Friedman pedal. I think that's a Dirty Shirley. Yeah, Dirty Shirley. I got that on. I got a reverb, carbon copy with a touch of delay on it. That's going into my Runt 20 head, and my Runt 20 head is going DI into. You can see the top of it, my Scarlet, right here. Yeah, Lefty Mike. I still have the Runt. Hey Joe, how you doing? I sold. I had a Houston Kettner. Now we're getting back to gear. I had a Houston Kettner 36-watt Tube Meister, and I had that up for sale for the longest time, but I finally sold it maybe a month ago. That was a great head. I had no problem with it, but what do I need two small heads for? So, because I have the Runt. I even rarely, I mean, the Runt, if I take the Runt out, it's with the 212 cab, and I'm only using that maybe 3 times, 4 times a year because most of the bars you're playing just little combo amps. You can't take out the big guns, right? There's only a few places I can take out the big guns. So, what was my favorite band during my high school years? That's a good question. Probably, I would say Judas Priest. I was into Priest, um, Kiss in high school. Motley Crue was huge for me. The Scorpions. I still love the Blackout album. Yeah, I think those were the big ones. Yeah, Motley Crue was huge. Motley Crue was really huge for me. What do I think of the BTO reunion? Well, I mean, from what I've seen or what I've read, is Randy is playing a lot of non BTO stuff. So it's almost like a Randy's greatest hits. But everybody jumps down your throat when you say, well, well, at least he's still out there and he's still doing it. Yeah, I that's terrific. I don't have, I'm not going to tell the man not to tour, but be don't call it BTO if you're not playing a BTO show. That's all I'm saying. Like, advertise it as Randy's greatest hits and go out and play your Guess Who stuff, and you know and you're mix that stuff in, and it's fine. Yeah, Guess Who reunion, yeah. Oh yeah, Dan, Accept was big for me too. Yeah, that balls on the balls balls to the walls. That was a huge. We were all over that, man. We love that shit. I saw Accept open for, I think, Motley Crue when the Motley Crue first played Toronto. But people tell me that I'm mistaken and I saw them open for Kiss, but I think they opened for Motley Crue. You saw Max Webster open for Rush, Dark Wizard. I wish I'd been seen that. Rick Derringer opened the night as well, and so that must have been an awesome show, man. Frank Turzo, welcome. Nice to see you. So while we got 27 folks in here again, I want to thank everybody for subscribing to the channel, for supporting the channel, watching my videos, helping it grow. We cracked 4,000 probably about a month ago. This is my first opportunity to come on here live, and thank you all. And yeah, much appreciated. And we got more to come. Got another album ranking show here in a couple of weeks. My recommended album to review. Be putting another episode up next. It'll be coming out next Thursday. And then little things here and there in between whenever the mood strikes. So, yeah, much appreciated. And if you're here and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe. Please hit that like. Hey, George, how are you? Thank you so much. Cool, cool. Wants to know if you're a Creed fan. That one record, and we used to do. Can you take me higher? I used to cover that song. Can you take me higher? Yeah, no, I can't say I'm a huge Creed. You know what? And then Mark Tremonti and the Alter Bridge stuff. I tried getting into that. I couldn't. I don't know. I could not get in Alter Bridge. I tried. One or two songs here or there, but yeah. Lefty Mike wants to more live wires. Yeah, the live wires are all busy with their with their, I was gonna say wives, with their lives. Yeah, I don't think that's ever coming back, Lefty Mike. But we appreciate that you enjoyed the show. There was another Creed in the '70s. Apollo Creed. Everybody's saying hello to each other. Very cool. Can't do a live show without my. I swear I don't work for these people, but I advertise for them all the time. That's all I drink is friggin' Tim Hortons coffee. All right, we're at the hour. Um, so again, thank you all so much. Um, I'll wait for a couple minutes, see if anybody's got any last minute questions or things they want to say in the chat. But in the meantime, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel. If you want to help support the channel, the links are below. But primarily, just the fact that you're here, you know, checking out the show, hanging out, and you're a subscriber, that's more than enough. Much appreciated. I learned of Gato after your review. Really love the band. Yay! You know what? That makes me really happy, man. If as much as, you know, I like being turned on to music, I love turning people on to stuff that they maybe have never heard of, you know. So maybe after I do another 30 episodes of recommend an album to review, I'm going to turn the tables again and throw another band out there, because there's another band that I absolutely love that I grew up with, and they were local and nobody knows who they are. And they should have been huge. And they try to break it into the U.S. market, but anyways, I'll tell that story when it comes around. I have a laid back show. Do you have a favorite Def Leppard song to play? Yeah, Let It Go. My favorite Def Leppard album is High and Dry, and Let It Go. All right, I'm gonna close on this. Now I'm gonna probably butcher it, okay? So don't be too mean to me. I am a guitar hack, by the way. Try that again. Now that I remember it. There you go. Butchered it, but I did it. Very like Kiss. Yeah, maybe that's why it's my favorite. Well, I think that is my favorite Def Leppard song. Once Pete left, they lost their balls. Yeah. Nailed the Def Leppard song. Wow. Cool. I wasn't even trying. That's pedal. Hey, Mr. Rock. How are you? Nice to see you. Alrighty. Okay, folks. I'm going to put the guitar down here. Got the night off. Don't need to play no more. Not for a couple weeks anyways. So I'm going to wish everybody good night and have a great rest of your weekend. You guys absolutely rock. Again, thank you so much for your support. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe. Hit the like. And I guess we'll see you next time. Would be Thursday for the next recommend an album to review. All right, folks. Cheers. Take care.